In the midst tonight, we have Minister Oman, Brother Matthew, Evangelist Chaniel, Minister Hayden, and don't forget to hop on over to our YouTube page, which is Just a Conversation. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget when you come on this program tonight, don't forget to share it out. Why are you offended? Here we go. Here we go. What do you mean? Uh huh. Wow. Oh, that's what you're saying. You need that energy. You need that energy to go. You sure? You sure you're ready for it? Huh? All right, good night and welcome to Just a Conversation. In the midst tonight, you have Minister Oman, Brother Matthew, Evangelist Hayden, and I'm Minister Hayden. Don't forget to hop on over to our YouTube page, which is Just a Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, as you come on tonight, don't forget to share. Don't forget you can also chime in with your questions. Also, you could chime in with any questions, not only questions, but you could suggestions, comments. Don't forget you comment tonight. This is a program where we speak back and forth, where you send through your questions, your comments, and we also elaborate about that also.
And if we don't really use it within the answer it, we might just use it as a topic. So
Hey, that's true. And yeah, it's been an awesome week. We had a concert this Saturday at our ministry. It was awesome. Everybody came out. Showed love. All who came out and showed love. Appreciate you. Much respect to you. Big shout out to Minister Adrian. Big shout out to Brother Alex, Jesus Rambo. Man, Sister Erica and her crew. Man, they put it down. Wow. Yeah, that was awesome, man. It was an awesome concert, man. Let me tell you something. You missed it. You missed something awesome. Yeah, it's just us tonight. We gonna talk. We just gonna, just talk, man. Sometimes it's good to talk, man. Don't you think so, Matthew?
I feel like you forgot something though.
What did I forget?
The one meal that God blessed us with is like I remember I came from work and it's like I was like, oh my goodness.
You were hungry.
Not just hungry, but I felt low.
You were hungry.
I felt spent.
You were hungry.
It's like they blessed on the food was such a blessing. It just who cooked? Hey, we ain't worrying about all the details, but just know it was a blessing. And
It was.
The music was good too. It's like,
Yeah, the musicians was awesome.
yeah, it was
Yeah, the musicians was awesome. Yeah, man, it was a good thing. So yeah, there's a video that I sent out that had the guys. The guy was actually in the hospital, being treated for asthma, and he and pneumonia. He went outside to take a walk. When he was taking a walk, the security confronted him, and when the security confronted him, he was like, "Listen, like I think you guys are like stealing the hospital equipment." So here's a young man that's hooked up to an IV, which IV is in his vein, and you're going to tell this man that he's stealing equipment. Like, he really had the time to go sit there and stick something in his vein to walk out of the hospital with it. And he went by to as far as to call the police, which the young man was, put in handcuffs. And I don't understand, like, the whole, when you get scarred like that, when you get, hurt like that, and I mean, other people have different hurts, different issues in their life, but, that right there just leave a dent in pretty much in your system. Saying like, listen, how can I even trust the system that is set up to protect me? Because all they simply had to do, if you think about it, was to walk inside and say, hey, is this person a patient here? And it would have been all like wrapped up. It was right there. It's not like they were like miles away from the hospital. They were like literally like right in front of the hospital. Not, I would say like 20, 30 feet, like right there. So, when you have been hurt, sometimes people have past hurt and it just affects, like their day-to-day life. It affects stuff that they go through. It affects stuff that they try to do. Sometimes, even relationship-wise, people get hurt and they're like, listen, man, when they start seeing certain signs, they put that wall up like, yeah, I've seen this before. And they say like, you know what, man, I can't deal with this. And it's one of those things that, a lot of people don't really, talk about is what the hurt that they faced in their life, the hurt that they seen, the hurt that they felt. But I think like the hurt that you've gone through is just to push you to your destiny, to make you a better person. So Matthew, let's talk about it.
crazy, man. It's like I ain't got hurt like that. It was like,
Yeah, you kind of talk about this shit. You should have like said the topic.
oh yeah.
I mean, good God of grace.
Well, the topic you pretty much like touched on it like real hard. It's pretty much how do one forgive after being hurt
Mm.
or scarred in the past? So it's like, just like what you're saying,
Mm.
I might not have got hurt like that, but
So you never been hurt before?
I never said that. I just said that I never got hurt like that, where the people in my put, but I did go through situations where the people that I put my trust in, they failed me, and I'm like, ooh. And it's like, I had to learn. It's like after a while to forgive. That was the hardest part, but
You think forgiving is hard or forgetting is hard?
both.
What's harder?
It's like
There has to be one that's harder.
I can't say because the moment you if you don't forgive, you can't forget. And
If you don't forget, you can't forgive.
Some people say they
Yeah,
forget,
so that's
but
not-
some people say they forgive but don't forget.
I've heard that a lot too.
So
I think because I think forgetting is
the harder one.
the hardest part. Because forgiveness is a choice at the end of the day. It's something you have to work towards.
Hmm.
It doesn't happen just like that for every situation. There's some situations that you instantly like, you know what, he didn't know or she didn't know or they didn't mean it or whatever the case is, and you instantly kind of like, you know, you forgive. And then there's some things that cut really deep and it takes years to forgive. And even after you're certain you have forgiven, you don't feel hurt about it anymore. But every now and then it comes back to your mind, and you know, even and so I believe that even after forgiveness too, you could still feel some kind of a hurt, not necessarily anger towards the person, but you still feel kind of hurt when
Do you
you
think
if
that's-
you think about it
Do
too
you think
much.
that's true forgiveness? If you forgave but you remember and you feel that kind of way again?
I don't think your memory lose anything. But go ahead, answer that.
I believe that if I believe it, you can truly forgive if there's no animosity or hurt, you know, anger against the person. That feeling that you felt where you know when you feel that when your heart kind of sink when you hear the person's name or you see the person and you just feel that anger all over.
You always gonna
That's
feel
not
like that.
true. Not necessarily. I think that's when it becomes an issue. Like it's really deep and you have not really truly forgiven.
Well, because I think honestly, like if someone did me wrong, I'm automatically by nature my instinct is gonna be like hesitant towards them.
Yeah.
But then me going up to that person despite that feeling, I think that's the power that we have to.
That's why I
overcome.
like confrontation because it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's the power that the person has over you
Yeah.
if you haven't forgiven them.
Yeah.
Because I want to confront you because I want to forgive you. I want to let it go. I want to move on.
So you
I
thi-
want to not feel
So you
that pain
think
and hurt.
confrontation will make you forgive?
It will definitely help.
I don't think
If
so.
you really want to forgive, you
But it
can
all depends on how
forgive.
the confrontation go.
I think it'll help.
But it depends on how the confrontation go.
You're
Well,
not
yeah.
if you want to fix
Alright,
things.
Look at this. Look, I was at a job one time and I got into an argument with a guy.
Hmm.
As punishment, they put me in a room with the guy and made us stay in the room for like hours.
Hmm.
And we were doing something simple like putting together like office chairs. So we had to put together like a whole office full of chairs.
That's a good one.
And I mean, we really wasn't talking to each other,
Hmm.
but we was able to stand each other
Yeah.
for like 8 hours.
But it was very awkward there, wasn't it?
I mean, we wasn't fighting, and it could have went that way.
Hmm.
And that's probably how they were probably could have even thought to plan that to get one of us fired. It was about to be that.
Right.
That was the, and
But I think as growing up, whenever you got into like say an altercation or something with somebody, as far as like if somebody did you wrong and you fight it out, you kind of forget it easier.
yeah.
But when it comes to like say a relationship when you've been hurt or deeply hurt, I think that's kind of hard because there's nothing that I believe that you could like do to get no satisfaction. And you've seen like in relationships where people like they kill each other, they kill somebody because of what happened. Or whatever the situation is. Or it could be like even like friends, like close friends. Like, me and Matthew could be kicking it since we were boys, young, and then we grow up, and then he does something to cross me, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, what's the deal? Like, and then that hurt, that deepness hurt, it kind of like, but how do you forgive and forget that?
I mean, sometimes you can't forgive or forget without the confrontation And the confrontation is the only thing that makes you able to deal with it slowly.
But sometimes you could try and do a confrontation, but you might not get the result that you wanted.
Yeah, but that's why it just like Brother Matt said, the one time when he pronounced the lady's name wrong, the guest last week, everybody was saying, Ishkika or whatever he broke the ice. And
Ishika.
everyone got a turn.
Right.
And everyone failed too. So the more and more we did it, you know what I'm saying? The more and more closer we were getting.
Oh God.
You don't remember that, man? But go ahead. Yeah, Ishika.
But the more and more, we got it wrong, the closer and closer we were to getting it right. And eventually we got it right. You even said Ithaca, and you came up with you were first to say the name wrong, but you were first to actually stick it when saying it. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
so that's like the law of averages. Sometimes, process of elimination, you get it wrong so many times until you're eventually going to get it right. And that's what happens with confrontation with people. I believe, to me, I'm not going to know you unless I know all sides of you. Unless I know your good side and your bad side. I got to see that dog in you sometimes. Because I need to know it's there. So I can expect what happened to bring it out and how to handle it when it comes out. And when I found that out, and I understand that you still ain't going nowhere, you still sticking by me, ride or die, I know how to deal with you now.
What's it, Bonnie and Clyde?
I believe that you have to want to forgive.
Yeah, you do.
If there's some people that really and truly
Or cut
they
it
say
off.
they want to, but they really don't.
They wanna cut it off.
They just want to cut it off,
Yeah.
or they want to continue to have that drama going on. Some people love the drama. They love the attention. They love the fact that somebody is doing them something, and you know what I mean. So they kind of hold it on. They go around and talk about it, and they feed the sore. You understand?
It's
They
true.
feed that bad
understand.
weed, and
I still believe that I hear what y'all saying, but one thing, they're both tied together because it's like I've seen situations where people say they truly forgive, but because they don't forget, it's like they're willing to bring it up in the most pettiest of ways when they're in there.
That's
So it's like
That's true.
if you truly forgive,
You
you're
will
supposed
forget,
to
right?
forget.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's what I'm
you're
saying.
tied.
Yeah.
It's like I can't say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna forgive you," but I ain't gonna forget. It's like that means that you don't truly forgive me.
Yeah.
Don't say you forgive me then. It's like I
No.
But you don't. But don't you think? But don't you think that have a lot to do with your brain though?
Well, the
Because
thing
once your brain has that image or that old situation burned into it, it kind of like don't forget it.
the thing is, if you truly forgive me, you not only will be able to deal with me in your presence, but you won't when you're in your lowest mental state, you won't be vicious with me.
But think about when you're a kid, right? And say for instance, like your sibling like pushed you out the doorway, and you scratch your leg, and it's a permanent scar. Like every time you see it, you're gonna be like, "Yo, you remember the time you pushed me out the door?" But you say you might think it's a joke, but you look at it as a scar, like you remember it.
All right. Well,
It just depends on what you do with the memory. Like Imagine Chaniel said, if you have that memory and you look at the scar and you say, "This is you maliciously pushed me out the door, I'm gonna get you back." Or if you could look at it and be like, "Remember when you pushed me out the door? Man, that was funny. Like that, I was mad back then, but I'm over it now." And that's the difference. If you still have malice in your heart regarding it, you really didn't forgive.
you really didn't forgive.
So it doesn't matter about the forgetting. Like as you were saying, like there was a time when Peter was speaking when Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" And he answered, not really thinking deep about what the question was. And he said, "Yeah, I love you." So sometimes we'll want to forgive people because we know it's the right thing to do. But the action of forgiving someone is harder than just saying, "I forgive you." Me and my wife had problems, real bad problems coming up before we got married. And I tried with my heart to forgive her. And it was to the point where I was saying, "I forgive you, let's make it work." And I would always bring it up, like you said, when I got mad. I would always bring it up when I got in my feelings. And
Well, I think that's a natural human thing.
It is. That's what
It's
I'm
a
saying.
natural human thing
That's why I
because a
said-
lot of people like you be in a relationship for years,
Yeah.
but then the past still haunts you because why people always want to bring up the past.
It's true.
And even when like you're doing like your best to like change
Yeah.
or to do the right things, you know, you're doing and you're actually doing the right things.
It happens, yeah.
It still comes up like, oh, like bro, like let it go, like. And then the thing about it, like when you see somebody's trying,
Yeah.
you know, work with them.
Yeah.
That's how I think about it. And then it will help you to forget. Because guess what? They're actually doing the right things and they're trying to work it. They're trying to get it to a better place.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about like anything to do with like us right here, we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes the ships get rocky. The waves going to hit. You know, and for us to like, you know, to get over stuff, you know, we have to understand like, listen, like you can't just keep bringing it up. You know, the past, you can't keep bringing the past and just using like, oh, you know,
But
especially.
sometimes you just don't know how fragile somebody is. Like for instance, sometimes I could sit there and I could be at a moment with my wife, you know what I'm saying? And my mind could just start to drift, and I could become like depressed real subtly. And I can look at her and she's confident, and I could be like, "Hey, I remember that's how you was when we were first having them problems." And that memory of it'll come all up back again in my face.
But how do you get rid of it?
You gotta flesh it out. Like you gotta understand. You gotta trust really. First and foremost, you gotta like really begin to trust somebody and be like, you know, that might be my insecurity, but it doesn't. I can't project my insecurity on you. And once you're able to do that, then you're able to you know, build up on more things of what it could be. You give reason of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though she was doing the same thing that was happening, it doesn't have to be happening like this again. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you start to grow. You start to advance your thinking. You start to think forward.
That's an important word, growth, because if you don't grow from what happened the first time, you're stuck, and it's gonna happen to you again. And there are people out there that are gonna be who they are. They're gonna do what they do anyway, regardless of how much they know it hurts you or affects you. So you can't. I always tell my children that you cannot control somebody else's actions. You can only control your own. Are you gonna grow from this? Are you gonna keep allowing the same things to upset you and anger you, and you know what I mean, keep you in a depressed state, as Minister Donovan would say? You know what I mean? You have to learn that, you know what, at the end of the day, I've given you the power over me by constantly receiving the hurt, receiving whatever it is that you're doing to me. If I know that that's how you are, I know that that's what you're going to do.
Definitely.
So I'm either going to sharpen myself and be prepared. No, you have to. At the end of the day, if the same stone in the road is going to trip you, what's the problem? You're the problem. People are going to be themselves, regardless of how it affects
Matthew's
you.
like Einstein over there, like, ding. Go ahead, Matthew.
I love what you're saying because you remind me of this podcast I listened to by this famous dude, with this other famous guy. And he was talking about, I don't really want to mention their name. Well, you know what? The one was, the guy's name is David Goggins. And for those who know him, y'all know him. I don't even feel like going into detail. But he was talking about how we're supposed to put ourselves in discomfortable situations. And to me, I'm a person, I realized it after listening to podcasts. It's like, I had to evaluate myself. It's like, why do I do the things I do? And every family member I have, they say, you know, I say, yo, China, what's the word I'm looking for? Family member. Aggravating.
I was about to say the family member you're looking at is like, nah, I'm not getting in it.
So it's like family member, right?
Aggravating.
Annoying. So it's like, yeah.
Petty.
Like, I try. Sometimes I feel like in order to really know know the people around you, even yourself, it's like you have to pick at a thing. It's like, yes, you know it's gonna trigger them, but I feel it's necessary.
So they're like confrontation, right?
Well, I ain't gonna say it's confrontation. If you know it's something that's gonna really set them over the top, it's like, all right,
you pick at it, right?
No.
You bring it out.
But it's like if it's something you know that.
Hold on, Matthew. Somebody said to speak up, man. They can't hear you. I think you need to go in front of the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
All right, so I was saying it's like there's times when it's like it's necessary, to, especially when it's I haven't reached that stage yet where I get a wife or married, but
I'm 5 years in. I just got there.
hey, congratulations. But guess what? I in order for me to know the people I'm around, especially when I want to get close to them, I like, all right, I will definitely do so things like just to get on your skin, see how far. Just like you're saying,
You got to.
it's like
You have to.
in order to see how far you can take it. It's like
You have to.
I learned my lesson with my folks, but at the same time, I still push it. Like, all right,
That's just like when you meet someone.
I'm done with
Somebody
Gregory.
say your microphone hasn't forgiven you.
hey, I'm sorry, Mike. It's like I'm trying. It's like I will get louder for you. It's like if
There you
can
go.
Get up there. It's like
Yeah,
I
speak up.
can't sing, but it's like
That's it.
I could definitely
Progress.
get up there.
Progress.
Amen.
That's it. We like it.
All right, but somebody said the offender can't wait to tell the offended that the earth of the offense is over. Though, get over it. Don't expect forgiveness. Maybe you haven't earned it. Wow, that's kind of deep.
Don't expect forgiveness.
Don't expect forgiveness. You probably didn't earn it.
Okay.
Come on, Minister, man. Don't get quiet on me now. Like you think about that one too hard.
Yeah, because
Thinking. He's
He's
thinking.
thinking.
He's
Yeah,
thinking.
because I mean that made a lot of sense.
It
really.
did.
It made a lot of sense. And honestly, if you get offended by like just like Evangelist Shayna was saying, if you know that stone in the road is gonna trip you every time, and you keep getting offended by it, why shouldn't the person use it to offend you?
Exactly.
They're
Until
right.
you get over it.
Right.
And then maybe then once you finally get over it, then that person pushes that button.
But do you know you're gonna have people in life that will never get over it? They will carry that forever.
Yeah,
and the other
it's
person,
true.
like say for instance, if it has to do with a different individual, the other person will move on with their life, keep going, doing what they have to do. Think about like if you come into church and somebody offend you, you know what I mean, and that you see that person on a Sunday basis, you're like you walking in church, you're like, oh man, they're here today. You have that feeling inside of you, but you haven't forgiven that person.
Yeah.
And that person's went through from Monday through Friday, Saturday, living their life, doing what they had to do, and you sitting there not thinking about you. And here you wasting all that energy thinking about them.
But that's why I say the five senses that we have, they control this natural body a lot. If you could see something, even smell a fragrance, it could trigger you right back to that state. If you could hear something, it could bring you right back to that time, that location where that offense happened to you. And until you can get over it, get over your five senses, the sight of it, the smell of it, the taste of it, everything of it, then you can graduate into something else, into another offense.
It's I mean, honestly, I'm gonna speak from like experience.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell somebody when you're telling them like, listen, yo, get over it.
It is.
But when you ain't in that shoes, when your shoe don't fit that situation, be careful what you tell people to get over it.
I mean,
Because you can't just tell somebody, yo, put your big boy socks on, pull them up, and keep going and go. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Have you been in that situation? Have you ever faced that? Have you ever been in that? So don't tell me that.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried pulling your big boy socks up?
But
A lot of people do try pulling their big boy. So you pull it up, you pull it up sometimes till the socks tear.
But let me explain something to you. Even if we were in that same situation, you're going to feel like it was different. You're going to feel like, if you don't feel like getting over it, you're going to feel like, oh, it was different for you than it was for me.
There's some things that offend the same thing that offends you. Is not necessarily going to offend me. We were raised differently. I look at things differently. I've experienced other things that's way worse than that. I'm like, what's that? That's just a little ant bite, move on. So yes, you can pull your big boy and big girl socks up and get over it. But it takes fight.
Time.
It takes time. It takes purpose. You have to purposely want to do this.
Somebody said, where do we sell them big boy socks?
Hey.
You got to take it out your heart. It's in your heart. That's where it is.
I mean,
It's in your heart.
I mean, imagine this, right? When I was little, I used to suck my thumb religiously.
You.
Yeah, I used to suck my thumb.
Really?
My wife used to suck her thumb too. She said I stopped in like kindergarten. I didn't want people to pick at me in kindergarten.
Right.
My wife said she extended hers a little longer, but like my baby is sucking her thumb now and her fingers.
Right.
And I'm pulling the thumb away, and that's her comfort. So she keeps on putting it right back. Now, my point being is, if I don't get her to break that, she's gonna be sucking her thumb like You know,
Like Danae
I don't know.
at
Yeah.
7.
She, and if we never break that, she'll be sucking her thumb like in her adult age.
Yeah.
My point being is, you got to put on some big boy or big girl socks to stop sucking that thumb and getting that
Exactly.
comfort.
You're not taking food
you
away.
gotta
You're
feel
just taking away that.
Yeah, you have to.
Come on, Matthew. Why you so quiet, man?
Because I'm thinking.
You got to think and talk, man.
Well,
You know,
I
people.
was saying, well, this is video that I was watching, right?
Man, you always watching the video, bro.
Hey, you
Can we get some? Can we get some real life situations?
Because I don't feel like going in. Just know, I was
People
watching
like the
this-
drama.
I don't like low personal drama, man. I like watching like on TV a little bit, but it's like in real life a lot. But it's like I don't like going through it.
I hear you. What's
It's
up with
like-
the video
but
though?
It's like I was watching this video by this comedian. He's like, when I first started, I had very thin skin, and there was this other famous comedian who was roasting him, and then it's like the man just smiled, and then when the guy delivered this one knockout line, he's like shook his head like, all right,
And took it like a big man.
boom.
Oh, he hit him.
Right.
So he got personal.
Yeah, it got
Wow.
really personal. It's like back in the day, it's like I couldn't take jokes. It's like I could deliver them, but
So you
I
should.
couldn't take it.
So you shouldn't be a comedian then.
But he ended up
Yeah. Okay.
asking for forgiveness, maturing, and after a while, he learned to develop that thick skin that he needed to do it. So, like I was saying earlier, David Goggins, he was talking about how another thing that he was talking about is like sometimes you got to put yourself in a situation until you develop a callus to it.
Yeah.
It's like in order for it, because it's like knowing techniques and how to develop deal with situations that will help you like after you've been through things.
Not everybody could do that.
And it's like I'm not saying everybody.
Yeah,
can.
because some people put themselves in a situation over and over again, and they just keep getting hurt over and over,
Well,
and they just keep
you
letting their
cannot
morale
do
and
that.
everything just
It's
keep.
like, you also got to remember to self-reflect. Like, all right, what about this caused me to fail this time, and what can I do to?
All right, look at this. There's somebody I know that's close to me, and that person was in a relationship. Matter of fact, that person was married, and he was like, "Bro, for years I wasn't happy." And it came to a point where he's like, you know what? For me to be happy, I just need to go. I need to leave. That's what's gonna make me happy. And you know, when he picked up and left, you know, he said, guess what? I feel better. I feel happy. Now I can move on in my life.
Because
You know, he self-reflected. But after being in a situation for years and years and years, bro, you can't tell somebody to put themselves in that situation and sit and think you're gonna go callous to it. You don't go callous to it because sometimes it makes you just not want to go home. And he might be in that predicament. He's like, damn, like, oh man, I gotta go home tonight.
I mean, this is a whole different ballpark because
How is the ballpark? We're talking about forgiveness.
Yeah, but I mean, you can only forgive in a We're talking about relationship now.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're at, and that makes it different. If you're in the relationship, a relationship requires certain level of communication, certain level of love, certain level of selflessness. So if I'm all about me, then I'm going to hurt you constantly. And of course, it would be the smart thing to just pack and go because I'm not thinking about you. It's not about you. It's about me. You understand? So yeah, there's certain things you could still forgive and be like, peace. You understand? You could still forgive and go. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about a relationship now, you are just hurting yourself by staying in the relationship with hopes. You know it's not gonna change. If you know it's not gonna change, and you know
Make
for
yourself
a fact
better.
that you understand, yeah, you could stay, you could hold on, you could give it some time, you could put in time and counseling and whatever it is, but you're smart enough to know that this other person does not want to counsel, they are not planning on changing anything. There's a level of knowledge somewhere. You must pick up somewhere that the other person does not want to change. And that's probably the part where you're like, okay, well, you know, this is
But,
that.
I mean, but don't you think that we have power as human beings to change someone that doesn't want to change?
No.
You don't think that?
To change someone, no. There are people out there that are. It's not gonna happen.
No, because I honestly believe that if me and you are enemies and you keep coming at me with hate, and and I keep coming at you with love, 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 after a while, my love is gonna overpower your hate, and you are gonna eventually stop hating me, and you're gonna eventually, and you gonna
Not necessarily. They could just they could just leave. They could just
you
leave.
sound, when you just said that, you remind me of my district manager. Like, bro, this is not a perfect world. Like, he wants everything to be like straight in line, like straighten up.
Perfect, but my point.
But you can show somebody love from
there
now.
are some people that you can
Some
affect
people
that
you
way.
can
I
affect that way,
believe that.
but look
not
at Christ.
everybody.
Christ died for the world, and a lot of people still don't believe.
Yeah, but
So-
that's my point. The point being is the ones that have been converted and changed.
Mm-hmm.
A multitude of sin has been covered
Mm-hmm.
from those that were chosen, those that have believed. The ones that didn't believe, they were never going to believe in the first place. They were never going to change.
Just
in
like the
first
one
place.
that keep hating on you.
But
hating
somebody
you,
just made a
hating
good point.
you.
They-
Pouring
Somebody
your
just
love
made a
in.
good point. They said no, because women been trying to change men for years, and men still out there doing what they got to do.
because I believe women have been trying to change men with the mind of a woman. But if you try and change somebody with the mind of Christ, they will change.
But
Especially
not-
if Christ is in it.
If there's change
Yeah,
in
that's what
them,
I'm saying.
period. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. There has been a time and there has been a place
Of course.
from the beginning
That
where,
you
where,
can.
where Christ says,
Mhm.
I have chosen you to be a part of my body in this dispensation of fullness.
Mhm.
And you are going to be chosen to be a part of me. And there's a time and an appointment set, there's a reservation where the enlightenment will come. It's in
But
Ephesians. It's in
but
the book of
don't
Ephesians.
don't you just believe like a lot of people just stuck in their ways, and
Yeah.
they're just not gonna change?
But that's the point
You can
that I'm trying to
influence
make.
some people to change.
I don't
but
think you can be
can't
influenced.
change
Yeah, I
them.
don't think you can influence a lot
They
of
still
people.
have to want to change. They still
That's
have
the
to have
thing.
something
People
within
have
them.
to want to change.
I believe what you're saying is correct, but what I'm trying to say is, after a while, it's out of a human's hands, and the Spirit of God will take you, knock you off your horse, put scales
If that's
on your
His
eyes.
will, yes.
All right. Here's
If that's
That's what
God's
I'm saying.
will
That's
for that
what I'm-
particular
that's my whole
person.
point being. That's
Go ahead,
You have
Matthew.
the people with the
That's
reprobate mindset
Yeah,
where
yeah,
God has
yeah.
left them and moved on from them because
that's
they
that.
are just not going to change.
That's that.
Donovan, you can't change people, and why would you even want to?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to, but what I'm saying is the Spirit of God would want to.
When we're saying to change folks, we're talking about to change people, like when you start to forgive folks, forgive and forget.
Yeah.
So whenever you're trying to forgive some, I think that's the line Donovan is going down. Like, listen, for me to forgive and forget, that person has to change, and then if that person starts changing, it makes it easier for you to forgive and to forget, But if that person don't want to change, then it's best for you to just,
Man, I'm pretty sure there's people that hate me. I'm pretty sure that honestly, I'm pretty sure that it's people that hate me that I've done wrong in the streets, and if they see me this day, they'll probably have a problem with me. But if I have my 6-month-old, 7-month-old daughter in my hands, and I'll be like, look, bro, I ain't the same person anymore.
But why do you need a daughter in your hand though?
I don't. But
You have Christ in you now, so
I
with
know.
Christ with you, I don't even think they're gonna mess with you.
I understand what some people will, but my point being is, as long as they see a genuine change in me, that I'm not the same person that inflicted that hurt or that anger or that pain on them when I wasn't who I am now, then I believe that people do need to change so that they don't take their anger out on my children or my. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? They don't take their anger out on my legacy. It doesn't be like a family feud. You know what a family feud is?
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah. So I think that's why people need to change, regardless of what I did.
You know what a family feud is?
Regardless of what I did to you, you got some people like the Nelsons and the Amos family hate each other, and they don't even know why they hate each other. They don't even know why.
It's stemming from generation.
Yeah.
But somebody just made a good point, and they say forgiveness is not about changing them. It's not about them at all. Forgiveness is about you. When you forgive, we free ourselves from the baggage on the earth.
Wow.
I agree with that.
I
You read the other
completely.
one?
I missed one. What did I miss?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
People who try to change people always fail.
Mm-hmm.
They then unknowingly change themselves and their own thoughts. I'm like,
Oh yeah, because you fall into their trap,
Yeah, but-
basically.
But to direct all this that's coming, because I'm not even looking at my phone here. But my point being is, the reason why the Lord Jesus Christ died was to forgive us, to forgive everybody. It's not in my power to forgive anybody or save anybody. I'm just doing what I'm just continuing doing what He did. It's not me trying to forgive anybody or save anybody. I'm just continuing what the Lord put in me to do.
So based off what you're saying right now, it's like
It's the Lord forgiving.
When we saying we putting out our we asking for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Or even showing love. It's not supposed to be out of a selfish like expecting the person to forgive.
No, it can't be.
That's
I can't say I'm gonna forgive you for something I did and maybe you'll let me hold $1 million or something like that. That's not gonna work. So, but if I honestly, truly say, you know what, I wash my hands with it, I forgive you, I'm good because the Lord forgave me.
Okay.
And He forgot about it.
Answer this question. Somebody said, I ain't mad at Donovan. They'll see the baby and not swing on you, but if they don't see Christ with you, you better. Oh my God!
Hope
what just
for a
happened?
burning bush. Or
You better hope for a burning bush. They swinging.
My point being is, regardless if the baby is in my hand or not, I don't want my son or my daughter to walk in your son or daughter's line and there'll be a problem. Because that's the whole point I'm trying to make is it has nothing to do with me anymore. It has to do with the blessings and the curses that are going back and forth between a family line.
All right, so let me ask. Let's take it back to where we started from. How do you forgive someone? How do you get rid of that out your system? Because you have a lot of people that's walking around with unforgiveness, or maybe they have forgiven and they think they're forgiven, but they haven't forgotten. So how do you tell somebody like, listen?
I just think when you really talking about forgiveness, you confront the person or have the person. Now, I'm not saying aggressive confrontation, but a confrontation to where let's talk about, communicate about what the problem is, back and forth. What your problem is, what my problem is. Why I think you're wrong, why
Or maybe,
you think I'm wrong.
and maybe you might need a mediator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might
right.
need a mediator.
You might need a mediator.
judge in
But I do agree with that. The first thing is to conflict the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, confront
Confront
the problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
And we find out who's right, who's wrong, and we talk about it with an open mind.
Right.
If there's no open mind within that, there's gonna be no forgiveness at the end. You always have to give. To me, I always try to give people reasonable doubt. I always try to give them benefit of the doubt too.
I feel like the best way to see a person's true, the dirty side of a person, is like make them fast for a while.
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
introduce like the scent of food.
You're right.
And then just let just see how it is. Because the thing is,
That sounds like kidnapping, bro.
What?
My God.
How you gonna get somebody to fast for a while?
Basically, you'll see their true colors.
Here's the thing.
But I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
I'm not saying it's their true colors. But you'll see a darker side of that person.
You'll see their true
and
colors.
it's like, I'm not gonna call it their true colors because it's the side of them that they kept on the check. I ain't gonna say their true colors or it's not their true colors. It's just the darker side of them that they keep in check.
Listen. When a person is fasting, that spirit in them that wants to eat something, they like, I'm hungry. I'm trying to eat some anger. I'm trying to eat some aggression. I'm trying to eat some envy. I'm trying to eat some jealousy. I'm trying to eat some, and they're gonna be snatching that, trying to get that. So that's why I'm saying you'll see their true colors. You'll see that spirit in them that's gonna be trying to grab for anything because it hasn't been eaten. It's been cornered. When you lock up a beast in the corner, it's gonna come at you the most vicious. That's why.
The flesh, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
believe that they true selves. It's just a part of them, the old man that he talked about in the Bible.
It's
That's
coming
what
up.
You're seeing. It's like because it's like when you feed him the spiritual man and then you're not giving anything to flesh. It's like, all right, oh, you ain't feeding me now. Oh, we on bad terms now. What's good? It's like, I'm coming for you. I want everything. It's like that's what you're seeing.
I believe us as humans, our flesh and our spirit, they're like right there, bone and marrow. They're right there. And the point I'm trying to make is, if you feed your flesh is gonna get big. And if you starve your flesh is gonna get smaller, and your spirit man is gonna get big. So what are you feeding the most? What are you starving the most? And I'm trying to say, once you let go on, just like you say, if you haven't been eating for a while, if you haven't been feeding your flesh for a while, and you wave a pizza or some good food in front, you're gonna snatch at it. That's gonna be your first instinct to do. So your flesh is gonna snatch at it. Now, just like you say, if that flesh snatches at it and goes all the way, you see what the person is dealing with. You see the spirit that the person is trying to hold back. with the spirit, but they can't control themselves.
Well, you made a statement earlier. You said the first thing is to confront the
Yeah.
issue, and somebody just said a lot of people say they are forgiven. They say the word so much that they start believing they have,
Yeah.
but you see them getting agitated about stuff that should be long forgotten,
That's true.
or something that isn't even present, and you realize they haven't forgiven.
That's it.
I've seen it 1,000 times, even in me. That's confronting the problem, because the problem is just us.
That's true. But what I'm trying to say is when you go deeper into that and you confront it and say for instance I see the problem in you
Uh-huh.
and I keep on touching at the problem
Mm-hmm.
and even if you don't see the problem,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now it's up to me to be like, okay, you don't see it,
Mm-hmm.
so it's up to me to say like, okay, I see it, now I got to start addressing it a different way. I can't address it the same way I've been addressing it if there's no progress. I gotta try and subtly show you a different way. I gotta suddenly like.
And the thing about it that maybe you can't even show the person the subtle way. That's
Well,
why I
I'm trying to
think.
say-
That's why I think in a lot of situations you're gonna need a mediator for somebody to say, listen, like, okay, this person is saying X and you're saying Y,
Yeah.
but you can't get that person to commit the Y because
I say
you're staying on X.
In regards to, you asked the question, how can you help someone to forgive, right? Confronting the situation. About the other person forgiving me.
Mm-hmm.
They might never forgive me.
Yeah.
They might hate me for whatever it is that I did, or if maybe I didn't do anything, but they still just not interested in whatever, whatever the case may be with them. Currently, it's not about them. It's all about me right now because I need to forgive.
Yeah.
How do I forgive? I don't always have to confront the situation, depending on what the situation looks like. There's some people, it doesn't even make sense to confront them, right? For me to forgive, like I said before, you have to want to forgive. Do you really want to forgive? Do you really want to let this go? Do you really want to move on? You want to get over the hurt? Is it that you need an apology? Is that what's going to help you to forgive? Because really,
What
an
is it?
apology would help.
Mm-hmm. But it depends
But-
on how deep the cut was.
What is it that I really, what is it gonna take? I want to forgive. So I'm just gonna make up in my mind that, you know what? You did me wrong,
Okay, let me
but it's
explain.
all right.
Look, sometimes there were certain times in the Bible, like when Abraham was striving with the well against Abimelech. There were certain times in the Bible, Abraham was like, I think I'm right, I think you wrong, but here you go anyways. There's certain times in the Bible where it says if someone sues you for a coat, turn around and give them your cloak
You
too.
give up your rights
Yeah.
sometimes.
So sometimes if you know the person is hung up on unforgiveness and you're clean, sometimes you just be putty in their hand. Let them do you any kind of way. Because right now you're gonna be blessing them, and they'll be heaping hot coals upon their head.
All right.
And it's not a trap, but you're giving that person an opportunity to cleanse their soul. You're giving that person an opportunity to get the venom out, even if sometimes you got to take the venom in yourself.
Hold on a second. Sister Carol said, why cause the offense in the first place? It's not saying you caused the offense, Sister Carol, but saying if something was done unto you, we're talking about how do you forgive, and forget. How do you keep yourself, from relapsing? It's like, think about a drug. You take a drug, then you get rid of it, then you relapse back on it. Where you might, the situation come across, like Minister Amon said earlier, and you get into that, your mindset into that place where you're like, you know what, man, this hurt, and you just haven't forgiveness, it's just sitting inside of you. And I think, me personally believing, like, in me, like, for you to forgive someone and move on, first you have to just forgive yourself.
Here's the thing. It's like when a person truly don't want to forgive you,
Read that.
they will come up with anything necessary to
Bring it up.
validate their
Okay.
unforgiveness.
Yeah.
So even if you do them right, I remember I was watching this movie by Tyler Perry called
Acrimony.
Oh,
That's a good movie.
Lord
It's like, that's the best example of, even though I did you right, I came to you asking for forgiveness because I did you wrong. I even when I did things out of selfless, where I even give you money because like I see one of our viewer saying something about in a climate I might get forgiveness off a nominal fee. But it's like
Some people
Great,
do.
great.
so it's, some people
Some
do,
people
but
forgive
some
for that-
people
for that
when
reason.
they set it in their minds not to forgive, it's to the point where they will kill you
Mhm.
just as satisfied, and even it's not even for satisfaction, but how they twist it in their mind is like, yo,
And that's the thing. It's
that's
your
the
mind.
only way to really
Yeah.
release this is I have to end you.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I mean, when if you really
Have
like
to
looking
end
at,
you.
if you really looking at biblical concepts and biblical scriptures,
Mm.
they killed Jesus,
Mm.
but he still forgave him. They killed Stephen, but he still forgave him.
Mm.
So that's what I'm saying. I can't like me in my personal strength.
Mm.
I'm not gonna be able to forgive you and make you change for your ways. But
Mm.
with the Holy Spirit moving in me, He will be able to perfectly direct me to lay upon your heart that I'm truly sorry. Lay upon your heart a conviction. Lay upon your heart that, hey, this person here, he doesn't deserve vengeance. If that's the case.
Mm.
If there's no reaching that person, there's just
Mm.
no reaching that person.
That's right.
Right. Go ahead,
Not
Evangelist.
even by
So Francis Allen said, greetings to the panel and everyone. You have to confront the parties who caused the offense. Let them know how regrettable you are about the situation and apologize sincerely and ask for pardon, and they can in turn forgive you. And there and then you bury the hatchet. If you feel too puffed up and proud and think that the other person is not worthy of forgiveness, then you're not letting go and is blocking what you should receive. So just get yourself out of the way and walk in humility so it's easy to let go. When you truly let go, there is no grudges or pain or discomfort, but freedom, and you're whole again.
And then Corey says, sure, assuming you did wrong too, but what if you did no wrong, but you were wrong?
I think that's a problem with a lot of people. A lot of people don't think they did any wrong.
Yeah, they walking in ignorance.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. A lot of people think that you did somebody wrong. You
And
did me wrong.
that's why I
And a lot of
said
people don't think.
that's why I said that does it matter really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I at the end of the day, if I really want to just forgive, whether they believe they did it wrong or I did it wrong or we both are misunderstood because I believe you did me wrong and you really didn't think so,
Yeah.
and you actually believe I did you wrong, and whichever way it goes,
Yeah.
that's worth a confrontation so we can talk about
Hash it
really
out.
what happened.
Yeah.
You know, some things, like I said earlier, isn't even worth the confrontation because it's going to cause a bigger problem, bigger misunderstanding. So you have to know the temperature of
Right.
the issue that's happening there. But at the end of the day, if I want to forgive, I want to forgive. I'm not concerned about you forgiving me. I want to forgive. So whether you believe you did me wrong or not,
Yeah.
what I would do, and I've done it before, where someone really wronged me, I went to the person and I said, forgive me. And that was hard because every time I saw that person, I was like, and I'm a Christian and I shouldn't feel like this, and I'm just angry, and I don't want to see the person. I don't want to hear the person's name. I don't want to, and I'm like, enough of this. This is taking away from my life. This is taking too much from
And that's
me.
the thing. That's what it does.
It's killing me. It's either I'm gonna do something bad or I'm just. But I can't continue like this. I want to forgive. I want to move on.
Okay. Look,
And so I went to them and I said, forgive me.
when I went
for
to
whatever
school,
I did.
When I was in high school, and if we used to go touch on a girl, and she used to get mad and want to hit us.
What?
If we would like touch on a girl,
I don't know what you're
if
talking
you didn't
about.
do it in high school, then I don't know. We used to
Nah,
do it in
but-
middle school.
nah,
We used to touch on females.
That's called.
Let's not say that again.
Listen,
We're on camera.
But go ahead.
I'm not saying
Those
that-
things you used to do.
I'm not recommending it, but we used to do it when I went to school.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Lord.
Go ahead.
Good
And-
stuff.
You
Like,
saw
I
them
heard-
doing it, all right.
And
You heard.
And one of my guys, one of my friends, one
Yes.
of my guys, he said, man, he said, all you gotta do is when you do it, hug them.
Oh,
Oh.
Because they ain't gonna be able to hit you.
What? There's a foot for a reason, but all right, continue.
No, you hug them.
Oh, hold on.
You hug them.
yes, get close enough for that
They can't
knee.
hit you, they can't kick you. And I think that's a practice that we need to learn sometimes.
To hug them?
To go up to somebody and just shower them with love, even if we think we offended them. We might not know, even if we didn't offend them, even if we ain't seen them in a while. Just go up to somebody and hug them.
Matthew said, "Nah, he's
Because
good."
when you do it, you're going to see where that person stands with you. If that person pushes you off or brushes you off, you're going to see the problem. If that person don't want nothing to do with you, if that person embraces you and hugs them like you hug them back, you're going to know their intent. You're going to know everything is okay with
Somebody
them.
said, no wonder you need that forgiveness.
Yeah, everyone needs forgiveness. I'm not, hey.
You out here doing stuff, bro.
Wow.
Everyone does things.
Wow.
Everyone does things that it might not affect everybody. Like for instance, one of the things with me and my wife before we got married, we had an infidelity issue, and because I did something to her, she was like, "I don't care. I am not wrong. I do anything. I do anything that I can do because you did me wrong first."
What's that called? It's called what do you call that?
Be spiteful.
Spiteful.
And I
Being
had
spiteful.
to wear it.
Yeah, being
I had to
spiteful.
wear it. She took off all gloves.
Wow.
Wasn't nothing fair.
Came out swinging.
Wasn't no low blows was fair.
Everything.
30 shots was fair.
Yeah, that's the woman
Wow.
for you.
And I was like,
That's a woman for you. Heard that?
And
That's
I
a
was
woman
like,
for you.
And I was like, I didn't do you like this.
Wow.
And she was like, it didn't matter. Once you did me wrong the first time,
Everything's off. Wow.
And that's
Wow,
and,
this
and,
is good.
and
Somebody,
you learn from that.
somebody said guilt is a heck of a thing. Sometimes you are chasing forgiveness from someone who has forgiven your indiscretions,
Indiscretions.
but has chosen to renew the relationship with you for reasons they deem relevant. Chosen not to.
I like this one. When I hurt you, I've given you a sack of rocks to carry around everywhere. The longer it takes you to forgive, the longer you choose to carry around the bag of rocks. My bag of rocks. Put the bag down, free yourself, forgive me. The moment you realize that the hurt only hurts you and the forgiveness frees you, forgiveness becomes easy. That is on point.
That's a good.
That's on point. My bag of rocks you carrying around.
For those men who've been through the infidelity and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, hold on. Before you go too far, somebody said, "Well, that is true. You have to forgive yourself first, and then you can forgive others. My baby father wanted to kill me, and I forgive him. Yes, the Bible says, why not take the wrong?"
I can't see the baby father one.
Yeah, I agree with you that 100%. I mean, I've been in some situations where people wanted to kill me, and in this point of my life, I have forgiven them. And I've reached a stage in my life where it wouldn't. If I see them, I'm fine, I'm okay, And I remember when I first, started the church and everything, and I was trying to, I carried a lot of hurt. I carried a lot of stuff. Like, I really, retaliation is my biggest thing. Like, okay, you set out for me, and I find out I'm coming like the thief in the night. You don't know when I'm coming. And I'm going to catch you, and it always, happens where it's, somebody always yo, them the XYZ. And they don't even know, they're not even thinking about you coming there. They're chilling, having fun or whatever. So, I'm at a stage in my life right now where it's I could see those person now. It doesn't even bring up nothing inside of me, no animosity, no nothing. I do agree with that, but I think you when you're talking about something like that compared to I remember the song that I don't remember who sang it, but she said the first cut is the deepest. When you've been cut, and some people find it hard to say, listen, I can't forgive that person for. Well, you know what they say. A lot of people say I forgive, but I won't forget. For you to forgive, you have to forget. Just like the person said in the chat before, saying, listen, you're carrying around my bag of rocks, because I've done the hurt onto you, and you're carrying it around because guess what? I'm the one that did it to you, so you're pretty much carrying me around with you everywhere you go.
Well, look what I'm saying. If you see somebody carrying your bag of rocks, do you think it's your duty or obligation to go up there and be like, hey, look, man, stop carrying these rocks and take it back?
But they might not want to hear
Me
you say
personally,
I understand what you're saying, but shouldn't you make an attempt to
me
try?
personally, I would. I would, depending on the situation, but yeah, yeah, I would be like, you know what, you're carrying me in your heart, and but that would cause me to have to apologize and really sincerely tell them, like, you know what, I'm sorry, I don't want you to carry this. What if you did that? You gave them that really close hug, like you said,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow you see them with your bag of rocks again. Then what?
Now look, like for instance, like when Zacchaeus, when he was looking down at the tree and he said there was a Levitical law. If you rob somebody or take any, restore them
Right.
4 or 5-fold. So sometimes you gotta start restoring people. You gotta start, even though you feel like you don't have to. Sometimes you gotta start restoring people, just so that you can get that bag of rocks off their back. Sometimes you just gotta keep going up to the people and you be like, I know you still don't like me, but let me get a hug. You know, here, take this bottle of sparkling cider. Here, take this bag of fruit. Take this fruit basket. Sometimes you just gotta start restoring people. Sometimes you just have to until they're right.
Somebody said the only person that spends more time in jail than the inmates is the people that keep them there. Let it go, baby.
You know what? I'm done with your chat. I'm not seeing any of those. You know, I'm done. That's not
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's
I'm
not
on
right.
I'm on a watch party. I
See,
apologize. Yeah.
Question though.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about infidelity, so it's like I'm curious. Like, I understand that you had to take some L's.
Yeah, everybody take L's.
You had to suck it up. It's
Gotta
like,
take L's.
Somebody take a big hell because they say their mom left them at 3 months. But my sister gets sick and I have to see her. It was very painful at the age of painful age of 33 years.
That's tough.
You know, that's tough when your mom leaves you, especially that mother's love is awesome. But go ahead.
yeah, I'm just curious. It's like, what was it that because I know I'm a person. If I say I'm sorry too many times, and you keep on still like bringing it up, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just want to just walk away because I don't see how we growing.
Yeah.
So what like kept you? I understand you have kids, but I see you in a situation, regardless of kids, like I'm not from a mental health. I'd rather just leave this.
Yeah.
So what caused you to like say, you know what? I know I did wrong, and I know I apologized many times, but I'm even though you coming at me in the worst ways, it's like to me kind of worse than what I did. Like, what kept you like saying, you know what? I'ma still stick through this because
bro, it got bad before it started getting better. It was
It's
time.
usually the case.
I think a lot of stuff do get
That's
like
usually
that.
the case.
I was kicking down doors, coming home drunk, pointing pistols in my wife,
Wow.
at that time in my girlfriend's face. By the time I come to it, I'm running out the house, and I realized the trigger wasn't even on. There was no safety on.
Dang.
Whoa.
One in the head and everything. I could just pull the trigger.
these were you're running. This is like some past.
This was around, and this was around kids. Yeah, and this was around kids. Yeah, this was in front of them. Yeah, like this was the life that I lived, and this is what I realized. What I had was more than what I didn't have. The love that I had with her was more than the love that I would have had outside. I used to live at a strip club. I used to live in hotels. Even though I had a home, I used to be out with my guys, drinking, getting drunk, smoking, doing drugs. I used to be doing all this. And at the end of the day, I realized it was nothing
Compared to what you had at home.
with my wife,
Wow.
and my kids.
Awesome.
And that's what prompted me. That's what prompted me to be like, I gotta figure out a better way because the women ain't helping, the liquor ain't helping, the drugs ain't helping.
Do you think
Never.
because of communication that it kind of helped?
What communication with what?
Just getting things clear out here is like, even though you might argue, but it's like getting things out.
All right, let me tell you one thing that did help. One thing that did help was me going through all of that and realizing that didn't help.
Period.
Me trying everything that I could possibly, like the woman with the issue of blood, when she went and she tried everything she could and realized that nothing got better for her. And she was like, it's only Jesus.
All right.
That's what helps. When you hit rock bottom with everything you doing, with all your attempts, with all the sweat, all the blood, all the tears, and you be like, you know what, Lord, I can't do this no more.
What if,
Amen.
hypothetical here, let's say, what if you did all of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, when you like, all right, oh God, I got clarity now, and you trying to go back, that door has been closed. Like, what do you do?
You still have, it still comes out. Believe me. If I go see somebody, you know what I'm saying, and see old feelings, and it still comes up. Mm-hmm. But that's my point being. My point being is it's always going to come up.
Mm-hmm. And it's some of this type of forgiveness is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Ongoing process to let go. But for the majority of your time, for the majority of your days, you know, you're fine. Yeah. You're not sitting around moping and worrying about it and getting high blood pressure over it. Just some things that will bring back some memory.
Something
you're not,
triggers it.
You don't have what do you call it? Amnesia.
It's to the point, it used to be to the point where she would be laying in bed and now you want to get hit her sometimes. Sometimes you just slap her back.
That's hurt right there. You just hurt.
I know she done did it to me before too.
The sudden wake up, right?
Yeah. Okay. Just slap back. And you just sitting there like
hey, they actually had them boys that did a skit like that where
it's not with the Asian lady.
The lady's leaving and do this again and let's go. Bah! And he go to see talking about
So, and the point that I'm trying to make is like when those thoughts come to you, or if I see you on the cell phone or whatever, I don't even care about checking the cell phone anymore.
Wow.
I don't even care about checking my cell phone anymore.
Wow.
That's growth.
We've come to that.
That's growth.
We've come to the point where, you know what I'm saying, I be like, man, like I remember one time we was at Walmart. It was just the other day too. And she was like, I seen you looking at that woman butt. I'm like, for real, what you saying? I swear I wasn't looking at. I might have been looking in that direction, but you don't know what I was looking at. So how can you sit there and assume?
Assumption.
Measured the iris.
Yeah, and as she brought it up and we talked about it.
Wait. She said something that we can't like slip over. What you mean by measure the iris? It's like.
The angle of the
angles.
Yes, he was looking in that direction.
I got hit one time, bro, for like.
It happens.
Bro, we walked out of the building, and I was just like being funny, and I had an umbrella. I was like, "Hey, you want an umbrella?" Man, I got hit with like every bag that they would carry.
It happens. Trust me.
Don't give nobody no umbrella.
Women, they look through windows. They look through anything that reflects. They let you walk in front of them. They do anything to try and see you looking this and that. And that's the thing. That's okay. I've come to see all the game. Mm-hmm. But my point being is,
like, set you up to look at other people. You mean?
Not set you up to look at, but they're looking in ways that you're not looking.
Okay,
that's
see
true.
If you're looking,
to see if you're looking, you're right.
And,
I agree with that.
And like for instance, like I got my baby. You know, it's a woman that's dressed like real inappropriate, and she's with her man, and I'm pushing the shopping cart, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? My eye just happened to go in that direction, so automatically I got you. No, you don't, because I wasn't looking.
Listen.
I wasn't looking. My eyes were closed.
It went both ways.
No, honestly.
Hey, I had an experience. Publix.
Shopping is a pleasure.
Amen. It's like you. It's like I'm just walking.
Hey, Publix, you owe me for that.
It's like,
hey, you're right.
So I'm in Publix and minding my own business, trying to buy some. I was buying something. I don't remember what, but it's like I had this lady like came up. I felt it's like I didn't know how to react to it because like it was so sudden, right? So it's like this lady came up to me and was like, "Well, I thought you were gonna walk past." Yo, I'm gonna stretch this out. So it's like they walk past me and it's like
we're gonna stretch you, lock you in, bro.
And then it's like they just grab like oh, and then she's like like.
You should have got the digits.
Like, nah,
why don't you got the digits, bro? Whoa. Someone says fine line between needing forgiveness and needing therapy. I mean, some people does need forgiveness. Some people does need therapy.
Yes, I agree.
Go ahead, Matthew. Finish your story.
For those situations, like, I understand what it's like. I didn't expect that.
Right.
Like, where she coming from? Where you got to watch his eyes. Like, you got to watch her hands. It's like, what's good? It's like, because you don't know what she paying attention to. Because she see a dude walk by, he's just thinking, oh, this is not a dude, but she like,
Man, brother Matt, you say it all the time. You say it all the time. You gotta know yourself.
Yeah.
Even if my wife is not around, why would I be looking at this female here? You understand? Sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes Women be walking up trying to give offering in the church, and I be looking away. I don't even play.
It's true.
I don't even play. I don't be sitting there looking at the people go by giving offerings sometimes, because I gotta look away with my wife right next to me. I don't care. I could have my wife right next to me, and if I got a mind to look, I'm gonna look. My point being is, if she's not there, I gotta have that same
same mentality, the same
That's
control.
right. That's
You're
right.
right.
Because that's when you get in trouble.
That's true.
Is when she's not there. It's not like you're gonna do something when she's there. You know, that's when the real trouble starts.
Well, awesome. It's been awesome. It's been a wonderful conversation. And don't forget to hop over our true friend and dear friend, Eva Ina's ministry.
Eva!
She wrote an awesome book. She was hurt, and she wrote a book, Sing for As Much As She Loves. And she's actually working on that book right now. You know, and you could get it on Amazon. You could get it on Kindle. You know, it's called As Much As She Love. Or you could go on her website, which is EvaInezMinistries.com.
Right.
Minister Amon, final thought.
all I gotta say is I love God for forgiving me, and I love my wife for forgiving me too.
Aww.
And because of those two, I could forgive
That's what's
anybody
up.
for
That's
anything.
what's up.
That's it.
Matthew.
Well, I forgive and forget. That was my thing ever since I was young. Is like, regardless of how bad people done me, it's like that was my thing. I always forgive and forget. So for those who out there and you've been hurt, just ask God to help you and to get you through it, and forgive and forget.
Evangelist.
Oh Lord. Well.
Spiteful women. All
What?
gloves off. And she agreed with it, Donovan. She said, that's how women are.
Yeah, right into the trap.
All right, go ahead.
You know what?
Yeah, I know.
I need to get another woman on this panel.
Not tonight.
We'll be interviewing for other women. All right, seriously though, you can forgive. It's possible. It doesn't matter how deep the hurt is. I watched this documentary once, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the gentleman that was in prison was there for murder, and he murdered some relative. I don't know if it was the father or the mother or somebody for this other gentleman. And the guy got saved. He went to the prison to talk to the guy that murdered his loved one, and he hugged him and he embraced him, and they sat and they spoke and they, talked about it and hugged and moved on, and the guy was able to move on with his life. Of course, when he walked away, he must have still felt the hurt. He lost somebody, because
Right.
of somebody else's evil ways or whatever. But he chose, in the midst of how hard that must have been,
He chose to forgive.
chose the forgiveness path. You know what I'm saying? The best way, because he knew that it would somewhat relieve him. Because not only was he dealing with the loss, he was dealing with the hate of this particular person that did it to him. So he chose that path, and he was genuinely. It came on the news. That
Wow.
guy was so genuine, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a lesson. It's possible. Somebody step on your toe in church and you upset with them. Somebody preach something in church and you upset because it sounds like they talking your business. Get over yourself. Forgive. Move on. Look in yourself. Sometimes the simplest little things that bother us, it's just so ridiculous. You haven't been through enough to if something, I don't know. You have to want to forgive. That's all I'm saying. If you want it, you'll have it. It doesn't matter what. If you want money, you could go get it. You want food, you could go get it. You want to forgive, you can go get it. Because it's all about you forgiving, not what the other person is doing or what they did. You can forgive.
All right, so, not my brand new Pumas. Man, I'll step on your Pumas now. But for real, final thought to me is like, for you to move on with your life and for you to move on with a sense of satisfaction, you have to forgive and just let it go. Get rid of it out your system. We've all been through stuff. We've all been hurt. We all face stuff, different situations in our life. And in order for you to forgive, you have to do a self check. You have to check yourself and say, listen, self, we need to let this go because there's nobody getting hurt. There's nobody getting high blood pressure. There's nobody getting sleepless nights but me. And when you look deep inside yourself and say, you know what, I have to get the mindset to understand, like, I have to let it go and move on with my life. Because the more I'm holding on to this, the more I'm hurting myself. You're not hurting the person or anything anymore because that person's moved on. They're doing their thing. They're doing what they have to do. They moved on with their life. You have to let it go for an individual self, which is yourself. And, you know, I've been through hurts, and let me tell you something. So a lot of stuff used to pop up back in my mind, and I had to like pretty much force myself. Like, listen, man, I'm the one that's getting sick over this. I'm the one that's getting high blood pressure over this. I'm the one that can't sleep over this. I remember I used to like have nights where I couldn't sleep. I'd be up for hours, and then I have to get up and go to work. You know, work all day, come back home, and it's like, man, you're just hurting yourself. You're putting too much on yourself. You have to just learn to let it go and forgive yourself and forgive the person. And then forget about it. Yeah, it might pop up back. Yeah, it might come back in your mind. But you have to ask God, the Holy Spirit, Christ Himself. Christ has sent the Comforter to be with you. You got to ask the Comforter, like, listen, deal with me to forget this. Deal with me to forgive. You know, and when you start forgiving and start understanding that, you know, it's when you start forgiving yourself and start understanding, like, listen, it's better for me. It's for me. You know, it's not for the person really, but it's for me so I can move on with my life. So anyone that's dealing with some situation, you understand, like, listen, you're being hurt and you went through some situation, just forgive yourself, forgive them, and just move on with your life because the more you hold on to it, the more you're hurting yourself. It's been awesome. It's been real. It's been a wonderful conversation. Don't forget, we're on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. You know, we interact, you know, with our viewers. We interact with everyone. Appreciate everyone that's been on, that was on.
Big up, Gregory.
Big up Gregory Cole,
G.
my
Cole.
G Cole boy. You know, gave me some pointers. Also, big up to my brother-in-law Corey Clark.
Correct.
Big up to everyone that's on. Eva Inez, Barbara Johnson,
Sal
Jessica Love, Rena Cole. Big up everyone that's on. I appreciate y'all.
Nelson.
Appreciate everyone that's watching. Thank you for taking the time out to pay attention. And also, don't forget to share it out. You know, let somebody hear the thing, you know, the topic, you know, just to forgive someone, you know, just to let go of it and just to move on. My attorney says differently. Amen. So it's been awesome. It's been real. Don't forget to also hop over to our YouTube page, which is Just a Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe. And also Instagram, just_a_conversation. And also on Facebook. You can go to our page, which is Just a Conversation under KBI Ministries, and like our page. It's been awesome. It's been real. It's been a great topic. It's been a great conversation. And this is Just a Conversation where we say hashtag
Talk about it.
So until next week, peace.
Greetings.